Absolutely stunning area to chill out. A couple of young locals doing some fishing off the chair there. So this building here, right on the ocean front, is quite historic. It was built following the 2004 Boxing Day tsunami. It hit this part of the world, and this building was built to house all the residents of the island. The actual tsunami itself came from over that direction. Good morning. Off on our island hopping adventure today, going to visit the islands. I think it's called Muli and Nalafushi. So it's a whole morning tour with a guide. Be interesting to see an authentic Maldivian island or islands and see how the people actually live. I'll catch up with you when we're nearly there. I think the actual islands we go into are Muli. I think I mispronounced that earlier. That's the administrative capital of Mimu Atoll, and Nalafushi is a fishing island. So it'd be good to see the contrast, hopefully, in those two. Just waiting for the boat. So here comes our boat, followed by a seaplane. It was about a 40-minute boat trip to the first island. Nalafushi is a really small fishing island. It's only 0.9 kilometres, or just over half a mile long, by 0.2 kilometres, or less than a tenth of a mile wide. And its land area is only 24 acres.
So this is the first island, which is called Nalafushi. So I'll give you a tour around this island, explain you a little bit about the history and the culture. So if you have any questions for me, you can ask me as well. I'll try my best to answer that. 500 to 700 also people living on this island. So it's not exactly a big island either.
So the guide was saying there's about 500 people live on this island, and most of them commute to the resorts or onto the island of Muli for their work, or are fishermen on the island.
I want to directly translate that to English. It's actually called Shipwreck Island. Because this island, back in the 80s, it wasn't actually a populated island. So there was a cargo ship that came from the outer coast, and it had the shipwreck. So they need to locate the island. So that's how it came to be populated.
Houses for the residents of the islands in the Maldives traditionally use locally sourced materials for construction, like timber, coconut thatch, and coral. Modern construction utilises a mix of traditional and modern materials, including lime, limestone cement, and locally sourced building materials like coral. Nalafushi is a natural coral island that has been inhabited very lightly since the 5th century BC. The island itself did experience significant damage due to the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, and a lot of the construction work on the island has taken place since then, with the harbour being finished in 2014. Following the tsunami, 400 of the 500 population of the island were left homeless. Within a few weeks of the disaster, the United Nations Development Programme transported at least 190 tonnes of construction material to the island to help rebuild it. Let me take you into a typical Maldivian house to show you how the people live and what it actually looks like. In the Maldives, average monthly income varies greatly. The average monthly income is approximately 5,000 Maldivian rupiah a month, or £242, and approximately 60% of the population earn less than that. Basic salaries for resort workers often range from $300 to $1,000 a month, and many of them rely on tips to supplement their income. And the resorts, of course, are the main employer in the Maldives. As we walk into the centre of town, the guide was telling us that essential supplies are brought in by boat throughout most weeks. If, however, the residents want anything more substantial, then they will need to undertake a ferry trip to a neighbouring island or undertake the 2.5-hour speedboat trip to Muli.
The guide was saying that drinking water is brought in by ship, or the islanders collect rainwater in black plastic containers, and that's used for drinking and for cooking as well. The Maldives is 100% a Muslim country, and all the resorts have to have a mosque on each island for the staff for prayers. That is a school, and the building there under construction is another part of the school being built. He said the plans in the future are for a bridge to be built between here and the main island, which has a population of about 2,000, so people can access better and come backwards and forwards. And that is the mosque in front. So whistle stop tour of Nalafushi, and we're now off to the next island. Over there beyond that boat, way in the distance, is cinnamon Hakuraa, where we've come from.
Muli is the capital of the Minu Atoll and is slightly larger than Nalafushi, being 1.5 kilometres or 0.9 miles long and 0.6 kilometres or 0.4 miles wide. It was one of the 10 Maldivian islands worst affected by the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami. We'll come back to that later.
The guide was saying earlier that most of the atolls are self-determining, so most of the decisions are made by their local atoll government, and only certain decisions are made by the main Maldivian central government. There's about 2,000 people live on this island, and it's one of the main employment areas for this particular atoll, in addition to the resorts where people commute by boat every day for their work. Those seats, and the seats you can see under cover there, the guide was saying is in the evening after dinner, a lot of the residents just come out to chill, relax in those seats and looking out into the water. And that is the police station in front. That's the mosque.
The residents are really pleased that the island got its first ATM installed in 2021. It's obviously something tourists can take advantage of if they want to draw cash to spend in the local shops.
So unlike the previous island, we have two mosques in this island, but this is the main one.
So this is the Muli Regional Hospital. Caters for the whole of the atoll.
So this right over here, this is the hospital.
Nice.
So we do have a clinic in the resort as well. But if the doctor there can't patch you up from the clinic, they'll bring you here to give you a checkup from this hospital.
Less than the whole of the atoll people have brought here. Yeah.
Great.
It's the middle of the day at the moment, and also in Ramadan, which is why it's so quiet on the islands. The guide was saying at the end of Ramadan, the islands do have a big celebration on the beach. Half of the island population will do the fishing, the other half prepares salads and various other things on the beach, and they have a big community barbecue. It sounds awesome. Another glimpse of the hospital inside. A little ambulance. So this area here, the guide was saying, is where they're building an airport, be a domestic airport, looking in for it to be finished within 6 to 12 months. And when that's done, there'll be another mode of transport from Mali to resorts around this island, including Sim and Hakuraa. So it won't just be a speedboat and seaplane. You will be able to get domestic flights as well, which is really interesting. Whenever they have to build constructions like this, like an airport or a hospital and things like that, they have to raise the land because it is the lowest country in the world, the Maldives, just literally above sea level, and they bring the sand in from the sea and build up the land from that way.
And land reclamation has added about 10 acres to the size of the island.
It's really interesting just to get a glimpse of the lifestyle of the islands in the Maldives away from the main resort areas. That's houses down that road there. So this is the centre of the island where most people live. The guide was just telling me that the two main ways that people have houses in the Maldives is either through inheritance, or they purchase a plot of land and build the property themselves, their own specifications. If you were a non-Maldivian though, I couldn't just go to a Maldivian and buy a property. I could buy the house from him, but the Maldivian citizen would still be the legal owner of the land in which the property is on, until obviously I became a Maldivian citizen. All the main housing areas radiate away from the mosque and just adjacent to the ocean front.
Let me take you down now to the most stunning beach on this island and to a place that is very special to the islanders.
And all the properties on the Maldives are single-storey properties, bungalows and such like. They even have their own tax man or lady. Maldives Inland Revenue Authority. That's the high school.
Yeah, this is the region of this island is French.
Okay.
So like we have volleyball, stage, football, restaurant. What's over there?
Here's something you don't normally see in the Maldives, a police car.
So this building here, right on the ocean front, is quite historic. It was built following the 2004 Boxing Day tsunami. It hit this part of the world, and this building was built to house all the residents of the island. The actual tsunami itself came from over that direction and wiped out half of this island. So consequently people needed somewhere to sleep and rest and live, and that building was built to accommodate that. It's not being used at the moment, and it stands as a reminder and a memorial, I guess, for people that were impacted by that tsunami. An interesting fact that most of the coconut trees on this island and most islands are actually owned by the government. You can only officially take a coconut if it falls from the tree. So let's go and have a look at this beach, Railway Beach, as it says on there. Water is absolutely epic. Look at the colour of those blues.
And there's about the dolphins. Yes, last
Absolutely stunning area to chill out. A couple of young locals doing some fishing off the chair there. The area of land there used to form part of this main island, but it got cut off following the 2004 Boxing Day tsunami. You can get across to it by walking across the little inlet between the two islands. It doesn't form part of this main island anymore. And interestingly, the guide was saying that very, very few people from the Maldives actually venture out of the Maldives, or actually even venture out of their atoll. As far as they're concerned, they've got everything they need where they live and have no desire to travel elsewhere. I certainly don't blame them for that. Absolutely beautiful place. The island in the distance is the populated island of Muli, as opposed to this one, which is Muli. And I asked the guide what the word Fushi meant, because a lot of the islands are called Fushi, and he said there's not a literal translation for it, but it basically means sandbank. And he said if you look at any resorts that have the name Fushi at the end of it, it normally indicates they have a lovely beach. So something for you to be aware of if you're looking to come to the Maldives. If the island has ending with Fushi, then the chances are it's either got a lovely beach to it. So that brings an end to this little whistle-stop tour of a couple of Maldivian islands. The first island of Nalafushi was a little small fishing village, which gave us an insight into what life is like on a small fishing island. And the second island of Muli gives us a bit of a flavour as to what a bigger populated Maldivian island actually looks like, what people do during the day and for work, how they're governed, etc. So I hope you have enjoyed the videos. If you have, please do give me a thumbs up like, as that will really help my channel to grow. And if you like the content, please do consider subscribing. I've done lots of other videos from this Maldives adventure, including a full ultimate review guide of the island and what I'm staying, Cinnamon Hakuraa. I've also done a video of the marine life in the area. You can see if you're a fan of snorkeling. I'll show you what a overwater bungalow looks like if you're interested in that, and lots more content as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers.